Howdy team. Today we're going to work on the formula sum, which means to add it up. We're also going to work on the formula called min, which means the minimum or smallest, teeniest, tiniest value. Let's start out with the sum. One way, we have a column of red M&Ms here, and we use this in the first week, and maybe you got involved in the first week in the domain. 1. We are now in domain 4. We restart working with formulas and functions. So I'm going to click in cell B10, and I'm going to go ahead and color that. Let's see. Let's color it orange so you know where I'm working. Okay, kind of a peachy orange. Now, the cool thing is, if you're on your home tab and you clicked in the cell and you come all the way over here to editing, we have a sigma symbol. And next to that is a pull down. Here are every one of those formulas we just talked about right here in this pull down menu. I don't even have to type anything. I can click sum. It asks me, do you want to sum up column B2, which is this cell right here with the number 17, to B9. So it looks at what's in that column above. It says you want to sum it, and we start all formulas in Excel with equals, and then it gives you the range of cells, B2 all the way down to B9, and says let's sum them up, and I hit enter. That is one way to sum up or add up a column of information. So rewind the video if you want, but right here on the home tab in the editing panel is a sum function. Okay? Now let's learn another way to do sum. We can type the equals, which is saying, hey Excel, we're going to do a formula. Then we type the abbreviation sum for summation. Look at all these sum choices. Some formula, some if, some more than if, some product. There's lots of choices. We just want sum. So now we go Shift 9, which is parentheses, and then we tell Excel, and I like to click through my cell references, that we want to add up C2 to C9. So I just clicked in C2, I dragged down to C9. If I tell Excel, hey, I want to finish that formula, I go Shift and close my parentheses and then hit enter. And again, it has added up that column of information for us. So now you've learned two different ways to do a summation. Let's learn one right here. Okay, I'm going to type the equal sign in cell D10. I'm going to come up here to my function bar, and I'm going to type that I want to do a summation or an adding up of formulas. It selected my sum. I say OK, and then I say OK again. And then it says, what do you want to add up? Well, it did it for us. It went D2 to D9, and it put it in the argument box. You might not need to go to the function bar in the argument box for simple formulas. However, when you start getting into formulas, for example, the PMT, where you're figuring out the cost of a monthly mortgage principal payment, having this function argument box can help. Consider using the f of x and getting these function argument boxes so they help you do a better job. Today you just learned 3 different ways to do the sum formula. Howdy team, we finished doing the summation formulas. Now we're going to do minimum or the smallest. So let's look at the green E column for a second. You can quickly see that our number 2 is the smallest value. 2, 18, 11, 10, 9, 5, 8, 12. So we want Excel to look at the values in the green column or column E and return back the number 2 for the minimum value. Now, just like summation, there are several ways to find the smallest value. One way is to click in the cell, come to the Home tab, and come way over here to the editing panel, and there's your sigma. Hit the pull down menu and hit minimum. okay, or min. We click min and Excel goes ahead and types the formula for us. It says you want a formula, that's our equal sign first, that returns the minimum value of E2, which is our E2 cell, all the way down to E9. And so what we're expecting it to return is that 2 value. I do want to show you up here in the top, our function bar also is showing the exact same formula that we have in our cell. Now I've made these cells really large and I hope they're easy for you to see, but you also need to be able to realize it does show in 2 places. Now that Excel's chosen that formula, I hit the enter key and it says, yes indeed, our minimum value is 2. All right, so that's one way to do a minimum formula. Let's go in the brown column and see what our minimum value here is. It looks like it may be 2 again. Let's see if we return a 2 value. So I'm going to click in cell F10 and type an equal sign and say, hey Excel, I want to do a minimum value formula. So here's my formula I'm starting out with. I'm going to go up to the function bar. And when I click that, it says you want to insert a function. Yes, I do. And I type MIN. I like the books. The books kind of help. In some of Excel, the books are not colored, so you may or may not have that at home. We can use AutoSum again, and there is our minimum value for smallest. We can also use insert a function, which gives us our function bar and our pop-up box. Remember, we typed min and we were able to click go and find the minimum formula. And this sigma is exactly like the home tab sigma in the editing panel. We can go back to formulas, use AutoSum, come down to minimum, and it says, do you want to calculate the minimum from G2 to G9? Yes, we do, and we hit enter. That is one way to do a minimum formula.